Most often you see Portland through the light of the worst hoods possible. As a local today, I'm going to be giving you a full tour of the entire Portland Metro. We're going to look at Portland and Vancouver, and we're going to use a fairly non-traditional map system. The rich forest people, it's actually saying boarded up Monica Lewinsky. Last normal area before hill folk. Hey, welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time here, I am Tim Jackson. I'm an Oregon and Washington real estate agent. The unique thing about me is that I've lived on both sides of the Columbia River. I've lived in Vancouver, Washington, and I've lived in Portland, Oregon. And if you're thinking of flying up here, landing at a brand new PDX, and you want to check out some homes, be sure to sign up for my headhunters list where you'll get unique properties that Redfin and Zillow just aren't going to show you. So we're actually going to get over to this map now. If you see on my computer screen, there's tons of different markers. So let's start off with downtown Portland because that's what everybody's talking about. It's where you get all the, headline news from. There is definitely a sketchy Greyhound station over here. Honestly, Old Town and Chinatown is where a lot of the sketchy, aggressive addicts. You've got the Burnside Bridge right here. There's actually a massive Union Gospel Portland Rescue Mission is situated right here. So you actually have a lot of the transients and stuff coming in through here. The train tracks, all the bridges. It really is a hotbed for, I guess, really the worst of Portland. So if you're looking for where to avoid when you come here as a tourist, then this would be kind of the general area to avoid. And it's where a lot of the YouTubers honestly end up going when they want to get that clickbait content. You got the tents over here. We're now moving over towards where Powell's Books is, which takes up an entire city block. You've got the Timber Stadium. So this is actually saying boarded up, but you can see that that's actually tagged 3 years ago. A lot of people going downtown, I've been there recently. You will notice that everything around Pioneer Square, which is a really great place to visit, is actually really open and relatively thriving now compared to what was going on. And then you can see feds, cops, judges, city hall, when stuff really shit hit the fan during COVID. This is where a lot of that action kicked off, but that's obviously started recovering. Now, if you're coming over for PSU, this is where the college kids, PSU is. This is where Ted Wheeler's condo is. Let's actually start going west and into the hills. So this part is funny. You got the Zoo Bomb. These are really fun hills to just drive down, or if you like skateboard or cycle, you see a lot of people doing that. A lot of old money. Yeah, I would say that's accurate. The West Hills are full of old money. We're gonna go a little bit north, and you can see Audi Q5s is a really great way to describe Northwest Portland, and really all over Beaverton, you're gonna see a lot more Audis. The rich forest people definitely live here along Skyline Boulevard and into the West Hills. Tons of old money with lovely views, big homes, acreage properties. This is Forest Park, so yeah, you're gonna have people that are tripping acid. I've never experienced that myself, but I guess if I did do acid and I wanted a fun place to do it, Forest Park would, I guess, be where to go. F this part of the highway. Yeah, I actually had a client that was going under the 26th bridge, and it gets really condensed, and it's just so windy that you really if you do text and drive, which you shouldn't, don't do it there. Lots of bumper to bumper traffic, and you'll be going 50 around a corner, and it'll be a dead stop. So you've always got to have, and it's downhill when you're coming into Portland, so you've always got to be ready to stop on that part of the highway. So this is interesting. I mean, this map is saying that this is an up-and-coming area. Is South Portland up-and-coming, or has it already taken off? I guess I could agree there. There's honestly not a lot of inventory there, and the stuff that does come up does disappear pretty quickly. You got a little Vancouver, BC on the south waterfront here. I could definitely see that. Just very high-rise living. You've got the little shops below, and then all the living apartments, condos, what have you above. Porsche and Teslas. I like this one. I mean, I agree, normal Southwesterners, because there's kind of the uppity Southwestern and West Side people, and there's just kind of the normal people. I think all the normal people will move to Hillsdale and out near there's a historic Premeire down over here. I tend to see a lot more normal people. Just, I don't, whatever normal means, it just totally makes sense for what they're calling. Interesting. So I guess here they have Monica Lewinsky marked because she did go to Lewis and Clark Law School, which is just right here. And yeah, Lewis and Clark is a pretty great law school in our area. Tons of dealerships along 217. You actually see a ton of, like, there's the Washington Square Mall as well. Early signs of gentrification. Okay, that was 7 years ago because it's definitely already taken effect. Lack of Hawaiians. More diverse than Portland. Okay, let's unpack all of this. Because now we're into Beaverton, and you got obviously Intel and Nike, the two big dominant tech hubs, or I should say employment hubs on the West End. Now, more diverse than Portland, I would actually agree, is that because of Nike and Intel, Portland proper over here, you're going to see a lot more white hipsters, and maybe some of that's going to speak. Yeah, I mean, while Aloha definitely doesn't have Hawaiians, even though Aloha is the place between Beaverton and Hillsborough, you definitely see a lot more diversity on the West End. You'll actually notice influence of Asian cultures and Indian cultures. It's really great to see. Now, Portland restaurants in the suburbs, 100%. I don't know why they're marking Bethany with that, because honestly, that Bethany has more of like Starbucks and stuff like that. So that's actually, I would say, more down where Progress Ridge is. You see a lot more Portland restaurants in the suburbs. So we're gonna go south into Lake Oswego into Clackamas County now. And retirement district, Lake Lost Ego, that's a pretty common nickname. Super rich people. Look out for Dame Time. Even less diversity, exiled hipsters. Yeah, conservative liberals, that's a funny way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people here that have learned how to make money, protect money. They live on like the lake. They live in a really, really nice area. I mean, Lake Oswego is one of the nicest places. If you watched my video on where do the ultra wealthy live, Lake Oswego is definitely one of those places. The local millionaires club. We're actually gonna go north a little bit. Dunthorpe, old money rich. Yeah, not surprised to see that. Between Lake Oswego and Dunthorpe is where you're gonna see a ton of those ultra wealthy homes. Uber beautiful, like, you know, kind of the estate properties that everybody dreams of owning. Going down to West Lynn. This has got to be an old tag, and I'm going to guarantee you this is going to be about 10 years old, because West Lynn is no longer the soccer moms with Chevy Suburbans. 3 years ago, come on. Okay, so maybe they're using a 10-year-old trope. I mean, West Lynn's more like the soccer moms with the Hummers or the soccer moms with like the Escalade. I'd say West Lynn's definitely upgraded from a Chevy Suburban. A Chevy Suburban, you'd probably see that more in Oregon City alongside the pickup trucks. Republican quarantine area. Now that's interesting. I think there's a lot of false assumptions that Gladstone is for some reason a Republican hotbed, and it's only because there was like one or two, there was like a news article a few years ago where Gladstone come up in the news. I think there was like a Proud Boys march that happened here. But honestly, I mean, I see Gladstone as a slice of old America. I see a lot more retired folks. There's pickleball courts just in the main strip. Honestly, like, Gladstone has got a lot more just mind your own business. You don't see a lot of that stuff now, at least. I'm sure it was a thing in the past. I would actually say, like, if anything, I see a lot less Trump flags or like maybe right-leaning, and I see, if anything, more left-leaning flags over there. I mean, same with rednecks in Milwaukee, like 7 years ago. Like, I guess relative to downtown Portland, sure. No diversity. White crackheads. We're going to come up from Milwaukee up to East Portland now. You live here because it's cheap. They must be talking about the apartments that are right off 99. I mean, I guess that's fair. I had a old college buddy that lived there like 10 years ago. It was definitely affordable rent. Most boring place on earth. I mean, that's like really close to Mike's Drive-In. Railroad Avenue. I think it's kind of a fun area of Milwaukee, honestly, if you like homes with big yards, walkable areas. So we're going to get up to Sellwood now. 1910 houses, 2010 houses. Yeah, you definitely have a lot of that in Sellwood, where you've got brand new right next to like really old homes. And it's not actually a big mismatch for the most part. Sellwood actually has a lot of beautiful newer construction that blends in with the Craftsman era of all those older homes. So Sellwoods are actually a really nice, walkable, beautiful neighborhood. Little San Francisco. I would say if anything's Little San Francisco, you'd be like up into the West Hills because of all the hills and the curvy roads. I wouldn't say Sellwood's Little San Francisco. I'd say Sellwood's its own little like unique oasis within East Portland. You still can't afford a home here. That's true. I mean, even though you're getting south into like a slightly less desirable area south of Powell, homes still are kind of expensive all within inner East Portland. You'll get lost in here. So they're talking about Ladd's Addition, which is this unique layout, really historic, established neighborhood. I actually find the layout to be extremely pleasant and easy to navigate because it's as long as you know which way you're going. I've cycled through there and driven through there, and I actually find that layout to be very easy to get through. Doesn't quite look like the maze that you'd see from the top down. You watched my video on Kearns, you'll remember that this is where a lot of the coffee shops that hang out. It's where people come to play. Overpriced coffee and tattoos. I mean, it's got Music Millennial, Laurelhurst Theater, technically Northeast, culturally Southeast. I could agree there. Probably saying bad drivers right here because this is where I-5 goes down to 2 lanes and gets pretty built up. You'll see a lot of people trashing Reddit on here. Honestly, you're not really going to see anybody that's on Reddit frequently outside or in the community. I'd assume that those people hide out. Liberals with money, totally. Alameda is beautiful neighborhood, but one of the more expensive East Portland neighborhoods. Hipster coffee, overpriced thrift stores. Yeah, there's actually a Goodwill on Hawthorne that's just kind of known for overcharging for other people's used stuff. There is a Village Merchants down there that my wife really likes. It's pretty sprawling. I would say it's overpriced and, you know, a bunch of junk, but my wife actually likes going to that Village Merchants. Views, totally. Mount Tabor. Let's go down on Mount Tabor. Beautiful hill that kind of pushes up against the rest of the flat East Portland. Raves and hookups. I've definitely seen my fair share of people like dancing up on the hill. They got their music going. There's a bunch of grassy knolls like where the water reservoirs were, and people will just go there, lay out a blanket, watch the view of like the skyline go down, and yeah, you'll definitely see like random raves happen. I was going and seeing a play one night, I think, and there was just a bunch of people with like those glow necklaces, and they're like, "Hey, are you here for the rave?" And they were like all amped up for it. Retail graveyard is definitely Center 205. Stabby Hobo Forest, no more cellular. So they're talking about Powell Butte here. When you come around the 205 curve, just the massive outcrop that is Powell Butte. Big rocky cliff is gonna stop you from your cell phone reception. And then there is a forested area here where the homeless have been known to hang out. This is obviously the carpet, the PDX carpet. Portland just actually got rid of that carpet, put in new carpet, but the carpet has always been like a huge meme in our area. So if you fly into the airport, there's still little like nods to that old piece of carpet. They actually put some more in up near the waiting area. And if you are flying in, you're definitely gonna see all the attention to detail done at that new airport. Now up near Marine Drive, there are a huge RV, like campouts, giant trash piles. I'd say if you're gonna see the homeless anywhere, or if you like see people that are just going for the clickbait stuff, huge homeless populations here. And then like I said, obviously homeless populations like in that downtown near the river and bridges. We're gonna zoom out a little bit more and go over to Gresham. Weird Island of White Seniors. So they're talking about the senior estates living over here. It's a big HOA 55 plus living community right next to Glendevere Golf Course. I've actually sold a condo out there. Only place you can afford anymore down in Gresham. Actually, Southwest Gresham is a really darling area, and it is pretty affordable if you're looking for a nice but affordable area. But they said that 7 years ago, so I mean, prices everywhere have kind of gotten to a point where a lot of people are feeling it. Gresham Amphetamine, yeah, definitely like near Fairview, Rockwood is one of the neighborhoods that you want to avoid if you're looking for a quiet slice. I mean, you're definitely going to get affordable house prices out here. Of course, we got to talk about Happy Valley. This is where the rich white people are. It's a big hill where kind of one of those other suburbs that are starting to compete with Lake Oswego. Rednecks with money definitely live down by the Clackamas River. So you're going to see a lot more trucks and stuff coming in out of this way. I still think it's wrong to confuse all the rednecks and stuff coming out of Oregon City with Milwaukee and Gladstone. I would say that that's less so. Now we're going to hop down to Wilsonville. Wilsonville, no bull. They're talking about Wilsonville Toyota, and then you also got Mercedes-Benz of Wilsonville. Portland's version of Orange County. Now, I'm going to say this, that I've been to like the outskirts of San Francisco and Dublin. really beautiful, like Californian walking paths, like just kind of that nice, almost European village style. And so this west side of Wilsonville is actually really pleasant. Lots of nice homes that are kept up. So if you're looking for just like a nice walkable, like tightly kept community, like Wilsonville is honestly a really nice area to be. You've got the Charbonneau golf community down south here. Now we're gonna go up to Vancouver in just a second. Best place to dump a body. Okay, that's pretty, you know, where the two rivers meet, there's a lot of marshy areas. The pumpkin patch / corn maze. This is Sauvie Island that they're talking about. And yeah, Sauvie Island's a huge island to the north where it's huge farmland. You take one bridge over and there's tons of pumpkin patches. Very nice area. So we're gonna get over to Vancouver now. And we're gonna hop over the Columbia River. You can see that it's what separates Portland from Vancouver. Let's start over with Camas, tax avoiders with a view. Yeah, I mean, Camas is kind of thought of as like the smarter Lake Oswego. It's where you get really nice properties and obviously you don't pay that state income tax. By the way, if you're interested in moving to Portland or Vancouver, I've got a unique headhunters list that you can sign up for down below. So if you're wanting to get a specific and unique property for you, sign up at that link. Now, I'm licensed in Oregon and Washington. I've actually lived in both states, so a lot of these things I've experienced myself. Vancouver in Canada, Vancouver very often does get confused with Vancouver, BC, but Vancouver, Washington is obviously its own thing. Where Lewis Clark set up shop, you got Vancouver, Fort Vancouver here, their old military base. Now it's like a little airstrip, and then there's obviously the Fort Vancouver. Portland overflow. I wouldn't say that. How long ago was that? 7 years ago. Yeah, Vancouver downtown has really done a good job to redefine itself since then and really have its own downtown waterfront strip. So it's no longer like 7 years ago Portland was the place to be. Now downtown Vancouver is honestly a place that's starting to catch a lot of attention. Some Latino kids got shot here. There's been a couple, like, you know, sketchy things in the news happen up in Vancouver. You've got Vantucky, which is the famous name of what people call Vancouver because it's thought of as slightly more backwoodsy compared to Portland. Fight Central. So, like, specifically talking to Vancouver, if you're trying to stay away from, like, the ultra or some semi-sketchy area, really that 500 corridor is going to be where you get the worst of it. I mean, you're going to find a lot of sketchy stuff down on the Portland side, down near 82nd. I actually lived in the Fellini Flats area and can tell you, while there is a lot of cool old Portland dive bars, you've definitely got like the sketchy corners in Portland. And I would say that the Vancouver area sort of shadows it up near 500. Now we're going to get into like north of Vancouver, the big trucks with flags required. Last normal area before Hillfolk. That is really funny. I mean, and it's actually super accurate because as you get further north up into Battleground and honestly like Ariel, Amboy, Yakult, you can get some very, very odd characters. I mean, you're talking like Bigfoot hunters, you're talking like conspiracy theorists, preppers, people that aren't even like on the fringe of left and right. They're kind of like in their own unique territory of just very unique crowd of people. Rich white Karens, Salmon Creek Philida. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Philida is definitely fairly pretty and put together. And so I could see why it would have that rep. I would definitely say that you're going to see like more high-end vehicles like Mercedes and BMWs driving around over there. I personally really like Salmon Creek. So if you're not trying to get like the pretentiousness of Philida, I would definitely be checking out Salmon Creek, and like I've noticed a lot more down to earth people in Hazeldale. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. I'm excited for 2025. Lots of people are subscribing and coming to my channel as they're getting ready to relocate to Portland or Vancouver. I've got tons of videos going over the area with a whole slew of new videos planned for the following months. So make sure to subscribe so you can stay in tune with what's happening in Portland and Vancouver. Thanks for watching today's video. Watch this video next, and I'll see you next week.